Welcome back to another edition of Smiffta Stoppage Time. Myself, Smiffta here. GAFF.TV, Give All Football Fans TV. You know what it is by now. And we had FA Cup weekend this weekend. Always a great weekend in my eyes. Always brings out the magic of the cup. For certain managers, they're not really looking at the cup. And, you know, Paul Lambert came out before the game at the weekend and said that, you know, the cup isn't something that he's interested in at Villa. And, you know, fair enough to have his point of view there, because a lot of managers who are concentrating very hard on the league, who are competing at probably the other end of the table in the relegation zone, you know, they find that the squad, it can be a very big hindrance on the squad, you know, to take part in the cup, and they just can't compete on both fronts. And that's why we saw an upset, really, at Villa Park. Sheffield United going there, and I think they could sense that early on, and they got the win 2-1. As for other upsets, I mean, Old Trafford, again, David Moyes, you know, United's home form looks abysmal right now. And they just can't seem to get a win there, whether it's the Cup or the League. And in terms of David Moyes' United side, I think the FA Cup could have been something that, you know, could have brought a bit of joy to the fans, because they're not going to win the League, let's face it. And the Cup could have been definitely something that could have got, you know, could have got the fans excited, a little Cup run, because an FA Cup, I mean, any sort of trophy this year is looking beyond United now, really. And that could have really been something that could have got the fans on David Moyes' side. And how David Moyes could do with someone like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now. I mean, super sub, baby-faced assassin himself, you know, kicking off his reign with a 2-1 win at St James's Park. And it was two super subs of his own, Craig Noone and Fraser Campbell, who got the goals, you know, to sink Newcastle. And I mean, Vincent Tan's gone for Solskjaer. We'll know in time whether that's going to be a good decision, getting rid of Malky Mackay. But great start for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know, and I do hope he does right there. He's got a lot of money to spend, apparently. Vincent Tan's delving into his nice big pockets with his leather gloves, and he's going to fork out some funds for him to spend in January. So if he can add to that, I mean, there's some promise there for Cardiff. So if he can add to that well, I think they can stay up. But the big game was over in North London. We had Spurs and Arsenal going head-to-head. And it was a good game. It started off as a great game. Sherwood, though, was going in with his brash, abrasive, bold, and somewhat naive, really, 4-4-2 to go to the Emirates with. And it didn't work, did it? Let's face it. I mean, Arsenal were finding plenty of space in between the lines, in front of the defence. And they were picking holes, you know, in Tottenham towards the end. It could have been more, really. Sherwood doesn't mind, though. He's a gooner. Anyway, and we saw Theo Walcott at the end winding up the Spurs fans, antagonising them with that. Or was it that? I'm not sure. Wilshere certainly was that. That was the wrong way to go about it. And Walcott, I have no problem with him doing that. He must have been getting so much abuse hurled at him. You know, and coins as well, actually. I saw a few raining down on the paramedics. And yeah, I mean, he was just winding them up, and you could see them getting wound up. But nothing wrong with that, I think. It was all light-hearted in Walcott's eyes. He's not a nasty guy. Seb Blatter has come out this week and has also said that he's, you know, trying to eradicate diving from the game, which is a good thing. We're seeing quite a lot of it at the moment. Certainly Januzaj over at Old Trafford probably deserves one of these babies for some of the performances he's putting in with his acrobatic diving. And it's got to be kicked out of the game. We're talking about sin bins, maybe. I'm not sure what it's got to be, but, you know, in my eyes, the less of it, the better, really. And Ramirez got booked this weekend at Pride Park against Derby. And Mourinho keeps coming out and saying that he's all for that, really. He wants his players to be cautioned wherever he feels fit. And yeah, we need to get it out of the game. But FA Cup third round weekend is done. Now we can concentrate on the Prem next weekend. Thanks for listening. Smiffta.